Welcome back. I'm going to move on to the bridge next. The kit parts are actually very well moulded. This is the fore bridge, and I believe that's signal flag and chart room at the back. And of course we've got the rear cabin as well. I want to check some relationships again because there's a number of Pontos parts to attach and replace. Pontos supply the wooden decks. And the fore one as well. But they don't supply the insides. Now we've got photo etch doors to replace this, and I'll have them open. So what I need to work out is what to do here. So KA models actually supply the same upper flooring, but they also supply lower decks for inside the cabins. So that's what I want to check to see if I can use these in conjunction with the Pontos parts, because Pontos supply the actual cabin walls for both the front and rear. And these are very nice. They've got nice grills on the window. And the plan is you remove all the walls, so you're just left with the top, and you fold this up based on the fold marks to replace the plastic wall. So I need to do that next to see how it works with the deck, the Pontos deck, which should be fine because this is Pontos, but also what I need to do to utilise the inside KA models deck. And similarly for the rear one, it's a simpler one, we fold it into a simple rectangle. This one will be a bit more tricky. The plan is I'll fold all these before cutting off the walls, because if I mess these up, I've still got these I can use. If I cut them off and then fold these and mess this up, then I'll have bigger problems to worry about. Okay, so let's get these folded up next. First thing we'll do is we'll clean up these edges ready for soldering, and I'll do both sides in and out. And we'll do the same for the bigger one. So in the past for bending, I've been using the Tamiya bending pliers, and they've been working well. But I managed to get a hold of the mini ones, and they've got a smaller jaw. So these are a lot more manageable, I think. So we'll start with the first one, the smaller one, which is just a rectangle, so should be easier. It's not exactly 90 degrees, that's better. In the likes of this one, where the joint's very close to an opening, we'll hold it on the opening side and it will support. If we hold it here, you risk bending the two thin parts that's left. So if we hold it here, it will be supported. And then the same for the last one. We'll hold it on the weakest side. So I'm just trying to see. Okay, so that's it. Almost bent up. This one could do a bit more. And that's sitting nice and flat. So next thing we need to determine is, and hopefully we can see this, do we solder it like this or like that? Because obviously it needs to form a square. So I've already measured the sides, and what I've determined is if you take this side here and then the front, or the two windowed side, which I think is the back. This other side here. This back edge here in the joint will actually sit inside as opposed to on the outside edge, okay? So when we come to solder it up, need to make sure this goes in. Obviously it's going to be flush, but the joint is on the inside. And similar for this one, doing the same. We've got that edge there, flares out, but the front comes back down. And then the back edge again sits on the inside instead of on the outside. Okay, try bending this one. This one's going to be trickier, and what I think I'll do is I'll use this to work out the angles. Okay, so this big window here is the front. Oops, sorry. Okay, it's a wee bit off. Oh, let's push it around a bit more. Actually, it's the same. I can try either side, it doesn't matter. Got to go a bit more yet. It's not too bad. Fraction more. And that's looking pretty good out. So go do the same on this side. Definitely more to go there. Just a fraction more, it's not too bad. It's a bit too much. That's better. Okay, so again, we'll hold it next to the door frame. And then this time we need to go out the way. That's too much because it needs to be 90 degrees to the front. So it might be easier to look at this way. Again, we'll try and hold it on the door side. Okay, try and get 90 degrees to the front. And then the back is a 90-degree bend. That's looking not too bad. It gets soldered to the inside on the edge there. Okay, so sorry about that. I actually went through the motions, but I never had the camera on record. So I'll redo it again using this, the larger one. But the method I done was pretty successful. I'll give this a clean in a second. Hopefully you can see the solder joint in the inside there. Okay, so let's go through what I've done. So again, this is the same deal. This back wall sits inside, okay. So I put some tape on that one. And remember, this sits on that outside wall. Okay, just squeeze it with the tweezers, make sure it's flat against the tape. Now we'll apply some flux down the joint. We want it to be quite localized, we don't want to spread it out. And then I use some solder paste right into the joint. goes. And then I've got a block of MDF. What I did is I've double-sided this on, so I've got something to press against. And then press that down. This one's harder because of the angles, but the other one was square, so I could push fully side on. If I press down, and then we'll come in with iron. Got a blob in the corner, but that's okay. So, moment of truth. Bit of a lip, but very slight. I'll just need to give it a slight sand, but not much. That's a nice clean joint on the inside. I'm happy with that. See how it fits. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so looking fairly sharp. Look at this one. I think this one was pretty much spot on. Can't feel any edge at all. It's pretty spot on as well. Okay, so now that we've managed to solder these successfully, we'll have a look at cutting off the walls of the cabins. Okay, the first one I'm going to try is these CMK saw blades. I've had these for ages. I've never used it. I don't actually have a handle for them either, so we can try and do it by hand, see how it goes. Remember, I'm going to leave just a wee bit of wall left, so we can sand down to the line. If I had a handle, I think it would be easier. And that looks like it's going to work really nicely. It can be a bit slow. I've seen people use power tools like a Dremel and a grinding wheel, but I think this will work just as well. Again, just keeping an eye on it because I don't want to actually go into the roof itself, because we need to keep it up. Didn't realise such a fine cut I would leave. Yeah, certainly easier with a handle. I'll have to look up for them. That looks like it's going to work really well. I'll continue on with this. Oh, actually, before I do, I'm going to try something else. And I haven't done this before either, so let's have a look at it. So the other method I've seen is you use a double-edged razor blade and you make something similar to this. Now, I apologise because I can't remember the video I saw this, but basically you get an old blade, it doesn't matter if it's new or old, and you basically smack the edges of this. And I think you're forming teeth onto the edge of the blade. And then you come in at a different angle. I don't know how much you do. This is the first time I've done this. Of course, if you're not comfortable handling these razors, then don't do it. So let's find the other edge that I haven't done anything to. No, it is working. if you can see that. It's even a finer curve than the blade we used before. Now again, just be very careful, because if you slip, you're going to slice through your thumb or your finger. Let's turn it around because I'm working on one side. Oops. It's a super fine cut, and you can feel it cutting with every slice. A bit less control because it's a wee bit more flexible. So I am running offline a wee bit, but what I'll do is I'll try and find that guy's credit due for people sharing these things. Then I think it's not even sharp, but I think if it wears out a bit or stops cutting, you just keep coming back and reinstating the teeth. Sorry, battery's running down. Yeah, once you get a bit of a method going, it works really well. But I'll keep saying, if you're not comfortable holding or handling these razors, then maybe it's not for you. Stick with the proper saws. Of course, it'll be difficult now of a thin cut. You can hear this one working. Right, I'll finish this and then we'll come back. Okay, so word of warning where you cut. I thought I was leaving plenty of space, but I was actually cutting into the roof panel, okay? I mean, it'll clean up okay, but we need to actually reduce your cut line down here. So I thought, okay, that taken into account, I'll do this one and come down a bit further. But as you can see, I'd actually started going into the roof again. So another alternative is we'll just use the snips. I mean, I cut down to get a line going anyway. But this is probably just as quick and easy. Or it's probably easier. Might have a bit more cleanup. But because I've started chewing into the roof, I'm going to have to do some cleanup anyway. I was trying to avoid just how much of that I was going to do. So I should be using these good snips for this. So it was probably quicker and easier than trying to saw actually. But it was good to give that saw blade a try. Never using it before, so. Or the razor blade homemade saw technique. And this has taken it down nicely anyway. So you've got a few options, depending on what you've got in hand. So the thing to be mindful is just watch digging into the top. Okay, so I'll just scrape this edge down. Okay, so I've scraped that down. Now I was getting a bit worried there because I was trying to think, we've still got a massive lip, or a big lip. And then next thing I was going to do was get my sanding sticks and take this all down smooth, which I still will. But what Pontos have done, and it makes sense, is the brass actually covers that edge. Oh, sticking on this side a wee bit, 2 seconds. There you go. So now the brass actually fits perfectly up against that top lip. So that's a really nice touch. It leaves on a nice perimeter. And you can glue that as well now, so that's good. I thought we were going to have to glue just a photo etch thin edge onto plastic, but you've actually got a good lip. It's perfect. Okay, I'll still clean up, which means I've almost lost it. I'll clean this up as well. Let's have a look at this one, because I've almost lost the edge of this one. I'm going to have to reinstate a bit of edge, but it looks like it's going to... Once I clean up that, it looks like it will fit in okay. So we'll get a similar deal. It's going to fit. I need to clean up because my saw marks have chewed into some of the edges, but that actually is going to work out well, I think. So I haven't really damaged this too much. I've still got an edge there to fit to, so that's good. Okay, so that's the two carbons done with the photo etch wall replacement, and they're looking pretty good. This one's came out good after, despite mashing up the inside of the top. Again, it fits on there nicely all the way around. So I've tidied up the inside a wee bit just by paring back the mess of saw marks and whatnot, but never ever going to see that. Okay, so now let's check how this is all going to fit together. Because if you remember, the point of this was... Okay, so it looks like I'm going to need some trimming of the wooden deck to get the photo etch to sit in. Actually, it's going to need a good bit of trimming by the looks of it. And based on this, the photo etch is oversized with regards to the wood deck, which means the KA Models deck will fit in there. Oh, plenty of space. Okay, so I'm going to have to worry about that. I'm guessing it's going to be the same for the stern. Stern one seems to fit a bit better. Yeah, actually no, it's going to need to be held at the back edge there because it just fits in the back against the lip. I need to trim the deck off at the front there to get it to sit flat, which again means plenty of space for the KA deck to go in there, because the KA decks fit the raised section just perfectly. So got a bit more modification to do to the deck itself now. So not quite there yet.